Hello, my friends. I have returned again. Now, we didn't make it last cycle, obviously. Last week I didn't really put out very many videos because I got pretty busy. And real life there was a lot going on. So the mornings where I usually do these were always jam-packed with stuff. However, we get back on the saddle and we pick up where we left off with a fresh alt. I believe today I'm starting from 1200 for cycle 4. This is the last chance. This is the last run before this OLT for this year ends. So, I wanted to resume doing thoughts of the day. Thomas Edison brings us a pretty good quote today. He says, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." Now, I love this quote. I was looking at it this morning. And for all of us going back into cycle 4 of OLT, some of us can feel pretty frustrated. It can be, the ladder can be a very fickle thing, right? You start to lose games that you should have never lost, or seemingly, right? You get fatigued, and maybe you start playing worse, and maybe it makes you want to quit MONS. But nothing's ever achieved without persistence, right? You want to go win something, you have to have the repetition. And it can be exhausting over time. It can be so much and you may end up achieving things that you weren't actually setting out for, rather. But achievement is only really achieved through trying again and again. So I thought this one was appropriate to start out cycle 4. I already played a few games. Got to just 1200 last night. To me, it's gonna be a good thing to just get back into playing mindfully because, I play games on my phone just to get games in, but it's not the best approach. That's when I start losing real bad, start playing very poorly. So to all you opponents that I've run into on the ladder and I've played poor games against, I'm sorry, right? Sometimes you may have caught me while I was on my phone. You may have caught me while I was on my phone and I was not really actually paying attention to my playing. So I'm going to try to get more mindful games and more volume in this cycle and just see where it takes me. We got the Chain Chomp loaded up again, the Chain Chomp team here. I've decided to kind of put the Webs team aside because one of the trends that I've noticed in OLT is actually Webs, and now everybody seems to be prepared for it, right? The Webs team that I was using is very mono lose to Cinderace. I mean, Raging Bolt's supposed to take advantage of it, but otherwise, completely turns the team on its head. But we got this one again. Here's a brief overview. I've gone over it before, but so we got the Chain Chomp here to blow away stuff like Great Tusk, and Dondozo, and catch Corviknight / Skarmory with Fire Blast in order to get out of the way for Kingambit, right? Also helps with Dragonite. The Goldango takes advantage of Corviknight as well. Spin blocks because we do have some hazard stack here between the Glimmora, the Stealth Rock, the Toxic Spikes, and then the Spikes from Garchomp. Spikes from Garchomp can fake opponents into thinking it's just a Tank Chomp set. Now, I've been using this quite a bit, so people will probably be more aware of what's going on now. So I'll just have to play a little more mindfully. The Glimmora, obviously a staple on offense. Got the Terra Ghost to spin block with, if need be. The Power Gem, the Earth Power. Power Gem does quite a bit, actually, versus stuff like Landorus and actually Gliscor too. So that chunk being taken off early game can often make the difference later on being able to overwhelm stuff. The Gliscor in particular, the opposing Gliscor in particular, I've been considering putting Hex here in place of Shadow Ball, but I'm not quite sure I'm ready to do that yet. Because after a plot, Hex will always one-shot Gliscor. So I would probably revamp the whole spread too. Make it into like a modest thing just to really wall break. The Psyshock is there for stall, right? So Shock, Blot, Goldengo is one of Stall's worst enemies. Got the Kingambit, right? This thing's ridiculous. Lumberry, because this team ends up getting wisped a lot, right? T-waved. And so when I'm against a Mon that likes to do that and skirt the Sucker Punch that way, like Dragapult, and even Cinderace likes to do that sometimes, I'll just click Kowtow and cure the status, get a kill out of it. Right, and so we got the booster energy, Iron Valiant. Other opposing Kingambit can be really tough for this team late game, so I included the Vacuum Wave. At +1, it always kills opposing Kingambit. Right, and then the standard E-Speed Dragonite, Terra Normal. Really good against other offense with the speed control, and really good late game sweeper. Dragon Dance, obviously really powerful. Staple ever since Gen 1. So. All right, let's find some games then. I believe starting out at about 1200 right now. Like I said, played some games yesterday. All right, Mitch with the Sun team. Let's play some Pokemon. All right, got the Torkoal, the Hatterene, the Venusaur, the Walking Wake, the Great Tusk, and the Gouging Fire. Why did I almost say Raging Fire? Gouging Fire. The Gouging Fire. We got the Garchomp, the Goldengo, the Glimmora, Kingambit, Iron Valiant, and the Dragonite. Okay, so right off the bat, Torkoal, answered by Garchomp, can be killed by Goldengo. Glimmora can obviously really do a lot of damage, possibly KO it. The Iron Valiant, late game with the Shadow Ball, can be pretty detrimental there. The Hatterene, answered by the Goldengo, gets overwhelmed by a lot. These are, I can anticipate with reasonable reason to believe that this is the red card set, because Hatterene runs that a lot on Sun. Yeah, the Shadow Ball and the Kingambit with Iron Head can wreak havoc upon that thing. The Venusaur, this is going to be one thing to really watch out for, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Weather Ball, right? Goldengo's not an answer anymore. The Glimmora, not an answer, but really the Dragonite is going to be something to leverage wisely against that, because that's one of my only, probably my only true answer, actually. Hold on. Does Iron Valiant outspeed? I think it's possible that it does. In Sun 568. It is not. Okay, so yeah, that's how we're gonna play. We have to leverage the leverage the Dragonite. The Walking Wake can be answered by the Iron Valiant. Potentially the Dragonite can also be key versus it. The Great Tusk, we got the Garchomp lure for that. The Goldengo can really put the hurt on it. Iron Valiant can kill the Great Tusk pretty well as well. Just got to watch out for any possible Terra Fires. The Gouging Fire, obviously another really dangerous one. Garchomp can kill it, but Glimmora can kill it if it catches the early game, right, with Focus Sash still intact. Iron Valiant can pick one off if it's positioned correctly, and Dragonite potentially as well. But that thing's really bulky, so I think the best thing to do here, lead Glimmora. We click Power Gym right off the bat, because I don't want to click Hazards with that Hatterene in the back, right? So what I'm thinking here is a late game Dragonite is going to happen. And eject button is what I meant before, not red card. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Red card switches you out. But I knew that it was going to do that. So anyway, there's the Venusaur. I think I just hit again, honestly. Well, actually, this might be my only opportunity to get some rocks up. Yeah, that's my only opportunity. He lets me keep my sash intact. That's the other thing, you gotta think about opportunity. Alright, so He's Life Orb Venusaur, meaning that E-Speed, especially if he clicks another attack, will kill it. Alright, so he's not being too careful with his Venusaur. Which is good news for me, because I just come in and do this. Don't even have to Terra, I don't think. Right. There we go. And I was able to safely click rocks there because, you know, if he's bringing in Venusaur that early, you can bet, because it almost always runs growth on Sun teams. So you can be pretty sure that it's going to try and take advantage of its presence there for at least just one turn. There we go. There's a Great Tusk. Goldango is pretty safe right now. I was incorrect, but at least I get the flat foot. Come in with Garchomp here. Stay in. I dare you. Goodbye, Tusk. Well, and that's okay because, like, Goldango didn't really win versus much anyways. Especially if that Great Tusk was... Jolly. So that's alright. That's not the worst thing in the world. Alright, there's the Hydro Steam. Torkoal, gotta check something before I actually make that play. The Earthquake does not kill right off the bat. However, I need to look at this. This tool is super nice, by the way. This automatic calculator here. How many turns do I get? 0 turns. Nice. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna need to Dragonite's the only play. Click it once, and then click it again for me. That'd be awesome. That way I can just auto-win. Yeah, smart. Good decision. Alright, I have to beat this down. Alright. So, potentially I could just go all the way up. Yeah, okay, Dragonite. If I Terra, that doesn't get it done either. Alright, so the Kingambit is going to be the best play here. Okay. You know, actually, we might be looking at a Terra Kingambit in game here. Yeah, that dies. I don't know why you chose Walking Wake there, but you did. It tells me that that's probably a Banded Gouge. There's high likelihood. If I click Sucker though and I'm wrong, then we're in an awkward situation. Okay, we got it. That's game. Torkoal comes in. Can't get any more sun. Right, so we play the Sucker Punch game. And it's just over. Alright, GG. Good game. Good game low down here. So yeah, it did not actually end up being a Dragonite in-game, but a Kingambit in-game. Which, should have seen that, personally. You know, I should have seen that. But anyway, let's get another one. Now, a lot of times in these videos when I say I need to play some more games on my own. I'm going to need to be a lot more mindful about the games I play on my own, because the camera being on keeps me accountable for doing the process, right? Previewing right, and actually thinking through things. So my point of accountability now is to be able to do that when the camera's not on. So talking things out makes things so much easier, talking to all you wonderful people. Yeah, so let's get into it. So Great Tusk, Slowking, Kingambit, Pikachu, Dragapult, Ogerpon, Wellspring. He has a Pikachu, man. That's pretty awesome. Alright, Garchomp, Goldengo, Glimmora, Kingambit, Iron Valiant, and Dragonite. So, Great Tusk, clapped by the Garchomp. Also could be clapped by the Goldengo, depending on the spread. Again, if it's the Jolly one, then I'm in trouble with knock. Glimmora, other one. Not my team, their team. Great Tusk can also be clapped by the Iron Valiant, most likely. Other things can deal with it too in clutch situations. Slowking, Galar, Garchomp, Kingambit, and Dragonite can all clap that pretty well. The Kingambit can switch in on it, as can Goldengo. Garchomp has a little bit of defensive impact as well, so we'll keep that as a back pocket if need be. The Kingambit answered by the Iron Valiant Vacuum Wave, that's why that's there. The Garchomp, if it's healthy enough, can click Earthquake and wreak havoc. I mean, Earth Power as well is there, so this Goldengo is definitely not built to be able to handle the Kingambit, but if I need to make it rain or something, if it's weakened, I could always Terra Fairy. Now, the Pikachu, the Garchomp, right? So, and then the Iron Valiant, the Dragonite can possibly do some good stuff versus it. That's a 306 speed Pokemon, so Glimmora can hit it once, probably. Kingambit can probably sucker it. The Dragapult, the Kingambit, right? Iron Valiant can also kill the Dragapult. The Ogerpon, the Dragonite's the best hope versus that, so I believe I lead Glimmora here, get my hazards up, and I invite the Great Tusk to just come on in. This is a Wisp Dragapult, as he just revealed. Garchomp is looking really powerful versus this, so if I'm able to just lure that Dragapult in with the Kingambit Lumberry and then just clap it, then that's going to make Garchomp's job so much easier. It'll only have to worry about the Ogerpon and possibly a Sucker Punch after that. There's the Hex. You know what? Hitting there was probably counterintuitive to my goal. Just because now he's less likely to stay in on the Kingambit and try to Wisp. So, but I'm going to try it anyway, because he can't really hit me otherwise. There's no real downside. Actually, hold on. Does Iron Head kill from here? Ooh, yes it does. So Iron Head, in case the Great Tusk comes in. Can at least get a little bit of value off that Great Tusk. I've not been hiding my replays, have I? Of course, that first opponent probably did not save a replay of them losing, so there's only really the only people that do that are the growth oriented, and we are actually very few and far between. And well, he might have, you know, Props to him if he did. Come on, Baldur's Gate. You got this. Well, we might just get a win by timeout here, so. Alright, GG. That's it. They just leave right after. What were they intentionally trying to time out? Interesting. Why? Alright. Okay, we find another one. Alright, we start over. Frustrating when you actually do the whole process and then your opponent just leaves. Then you gotta do it all over again. Okay, so the Mamoswine, right? The Slowking Galar, Samurott Hisui, the Dragapult, the Corviknight, and the Iron Valiant. The Garchomp, Goldango, the Glimmora, the Kingambit, the Iron Valiant, and the Dragonite. The Mamoswine is dangerous, so Balloon Goldango can hit it pretty hard, which will be pretty important. The Iron Valiant can potentially get some value off of it, right? It's probably not going to click Ice Shard versus the Kingambit, so the Kingambit can probably Sucker Punch it. Dragonite can E-Speed, always outspeeds the out-priorities the Ice Shard. So we can pick it off that way if we're in a position to do so. The Slowking Galar, the Garchomp, right, and the Goldango, the Kingambit is pretty powerful versus it. The Dragonite can also kill it with the Earthquake. Switches in, Goldango switches in, Kingambit switches in. Garchomp can kind of switch in on a Sludge Bomb. It's risky for hacks, but the Samurott can be clapped by the Iron Valiant. The Dragonite can pick it off later. Garchomp can also Earthquake it, do quite a bit of damage. The Dragapult, answered by the Kingambit primarily. The Iron Valiant can kill it offensively. If I get enough boosts up with the Dragonite, then I can Earthquake it. But that's a very specific situation. The Corviknight, the Goldango, then we have a nice Fire Blast for it on the Garchomp. Iron Valiant, Terra, Shadow Ball can do pretty good things against it. Can clap it with a, not clap it, but chip it with a Power Gem potentially early on. But then if it's in, right, probably need to go straight to Goldango. And then the Iron Valiant, Goldango again. So we need to Iron Valiant. My own Iron Valiant can possibly speed tie it if I'm Terra Shadow Balled with a Calm Mind up. I can win that 1v1 potentially. Dragonite can E-speed it if it's not its own Terra Ghost. So Goldango saved for these two. Garchomp can kill this, and this. So I believe we just Glim because I want to get that Corviknight out of the way for Dragonite. It seems pretty powerful. All right, so he's got the Samurott there. Yeah, so I think we want to invite that Corviknight in. Actually, maybe not for the sake of Dragonite, but more so for the sake of Kingambit, actually, because the Dragapults end up being more elusive than the Samurotts are. He just revealed Choice Scarf there, so we know what that is. Now I believe I just get a little bit of value off of this, and I continue to beat it down as it future sights and chilies right in front of me. I believe Glim just sits in on this. Okay. Now flip turns. And then Future Sight hits nothing. Right, exactly. So we bring in the Gambit right here. Threaten this thing. Either the Corviknight comes out, which is most likely, or he tries to do something fancy with the Samurott. There's the Corviknight. We kowtow right off the bat, and he's leftovers. So we go straight Goldie. Okay. Wise play on his part, because now that opens up his Mamoswine. Might do something a little tricky here and go. See, I should have anticipated that play. This is where anticipation is good. It's not the same as prediction. Talked about that in an earlier video. Prediction is something you do when you need to return power to yourself in a game, and you're already on the back foot. You never do it in any other circumstance, really. Anticipation is something that you do to stay on top of the decisions possibly made, right? You take everything into account, and you stay on top of it and keep yourself in control. So, and there's a very clear difference there. So I'm going to have to make a prediction here, because I just put myself on the back foot by not anticipating the Corviknight to U-turn and bust my... Yeah, so I had to do that. And I know that he's choice locked, so this is actually not the worst thing here. I expect him to bring in the Slowking. Alright. I think the most powerful thing to do here is Terra and Shadow Ball. Oh, water. Ouch. I was wrong. I was incorrect. Well, we have Vacuum Wave, so that's good. Still clears the way for Kingambit, potentially. And this kills me. Get the Wisp. Alright, so Lumberry. It's your time to shine. Didn't matter because Lumberry. He's not going to be happy about that. Okay, now, new plan. I believe we stay on top of this and not allow that Slowking to Chili ever again. Now, how do we do that? He doesn't click an ice move here. See, now I'm having to figure out what he clicks. And that's power in his hands. Because now my plays are based on what he does. And that's never ideal. I think I could Dragonite, right? Okay. And I'm thinking of chunking the Dragonite, honestly. Just letting that go. This person is a lot smarter than their ELO would suggest. Okay, that actually opens up Kingambit quite a bit. The only trouble being is that Iron Valiant. Yeah, we have to keep Gholdengo in reserve for that right there. Do I truly need this? I don't believe I do. Right, okay, so now the Dragonite can be used to revenge the Valiant. He already blew his Terra, so we know it's no Terra Ghost madness at this point. Okay, now Valiant is, Gambit is wide open. 32, and then with a Sucker Punch, 55. Yeah, so we can put that in range of the Gambit. Now, also, luckily, my Goldengo is faster than the Mamoswine. So that's good news. So Goldengo can just end this right here, actually, with no Sucker Punch games played at all. Unless this is some kind of weird Flamethrower Slow King or something, but it doesn't look like it is, but we'll see. Can't T-Wave me, buddy. Alright, good game. Okay. Let's find another one. 3 wins so far, one of which was just a ladder timeout, or timer timeout. Alright, Kelt, let's play some Pokemon. You have Dark Spam. Alright, so Darkrai, Kingambit, Roaring Moon, Zamazenta, Glimmora, Enamorus versus Garchomp, Goldengo, Glimmora, Kingambit, Iron Valiant, and Dragonite. Darkrai, handled most reliably by the Iron Valiant, unless it somehow catches me with a Scarf Sludge Bomb or something like that. Dragonite can pick it off as well, but otherwise, you know, Kingambit has a double resist, but then it carries Focus Blast, so that's a little shaky there. The Kingambit, opposing Kingambit, handled by the Iron Valiant, Vacuum Waved, potentially, right? So the Garchomp can hit it as well. Glim can hit it and punish the Sucker Punch by laying down some spikes in the event that his own Glimmora is gone, which those usually go away early game. We'll see what happens. The Roaring Moon is quite a problem here. Dragonite can pick it off with the Extreme Speed. The Iron Valiant has some leverage against it when it's unboosted, right? When the Roaring Moon doesn't have any speed boosts. The Kingambit can also handle late on in the game with Sucker Punch. Terra Fairy Goldengo can take quite a bit of value off of it. But I think we're going to need to preserve that for the Zamazenta, right? So the Zamazenta, answered by the Goldengo primarily. The Iron Valiant can hit it. Provided we don't waste our booster energy in a needless spot. So then that's dangerous. Glimmora, my own Glimmora or Garchomp, that would be one reason to keep our own Glimmora intact. But I think we can probably Mortal Spin turn 1 on it if it does lead the Glimmora, and then try to bop it with our own Earth Power. So Enamorus, Goldengo with the balloon especially, can be overpowered by the Dragonite. We think we might be looking at a Terra E-Speed Dragonite in-game, provided that it's not the setup Zamazenta. Okay, leads like I thought he might. We Mortal Spin turn 1 to break the sash, and if he wins the speed tie, oh, it's red card. Okay, so man, if I would have known that, I would have just hard Earth Power, but my anticipation was the most likely thing, right? Which is Focus Sash, especially on a lead set like that. This thing is normally faster, and we do not want Dragonite getting poisoned. So I think we return to default settings here. Okay, Glimmor's out of the way. I mean, it's possible that he's also Sash Darkrai. I've seen that here and there. Alright, so Enamorous. Okay, we let this go. Not worth sacrificing value on anything else quite yet. Gold Dingo. It's really impactful versus this and the Zama. So it's not gonna hit me with much outside of maybe Mystical Fire. And with the Zama, we can plan on taking care of that with the Iron Valiant, because Valiant looks very powerful in the end game. Provided that Darkrai doesn't tear up poison on us, in which case we can probably make a momentary decision to Terra Ghost and get an additional boost on the Darkrai if that does happen, because no Darkrai is actually going to click a Dark Pulse on a Iron Valiant. So that's pretty much a safe by usual decision play there. Okay, so we preserve this. What do we want to do? We want to bring in... Our own Kingambit is pretty weak against his team, so I think we can throw that in. There's the Zama, it's leftovers, indicating the Iron Defense set, which is what I was afraid of. So let's see what we can do. Okay, there's a Kingambit. Well, he blew his one boost there, the Dauntless Shield. So that means it's not going to be as scary going on. Alright, so Iron Head here. Maybe get a flinch, perhaps? Nope. Alright, so we need to go for the roll on Kotao Cleave. And we do not get it, but now we can sucker. Okay. We let this go because it's bad otherwise. Matchup wise. The okay. I have a sneaking suspicion that Dragonite might be able to steal a game here, which would be really interesting because at preview it's not really that good. So if I Terra right off the bat, and yeah, if I Terra right off the bat, everything he has is already in danger. So 46. So actually what's more realistic, I'm thinking here, is that if I Terra right off the bat, Dragon Dance, I'm paving the way for maybe an Iron Valiant sweep. Can I take one more of those? And would it kill the Zamazenta? In which case, if I got 2 boosts up... Hold on. Let me take... So Moonblast with full HP. I think I can take one more of those. I should have paid attention when it was okay, Okay, how do I modify my HP? Go full. Damage calc. Go to the old one here. Dragonite. Dragon Dance. Enamorous. Scarf. Terra Moonblast did 24.8. So definitely not specs, so I can speed again. And then I believe the Earthquake will kill those. No, it won't. Ooh, I came so close there. Quick maths. The Zama, please choke and go Terra Steel. That would be amazing. Because if he does, I get a kill. It's Ghost. Whew. Oh my goodness. Alright, so he... Iron Defense is there. Does that kill? Does it kill? No, it doesn't kill. Alright. But still, pretty good value there. Now, I can go in here, Moonblast, in case he tries to anticipate my Shadow Ball. There we go. And that should be game. Alright, that is game. That tells me that he's not Dark Rye, Scarf Rye, because he would have gone that immediately. Exactly. Okay, good game. Good game. Alright, well, we got to 1300. I'm going to get to 1400 today. Played 4 games, so that's good for the video. Now, my point of practice later today is going to be just as diligent as I would during the video on my own, right? So that'll be the next point of improvement for me, because I get caught a lot of the time just, you know, mindlessly playing games, putting the old practice in the old habits into play, and that's not going to work, right? That's not going to get me the success that I need. So I will practice off camera, and next time, you betcha, I will come up with a higher ELO, and we will start from there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.